If you've ever stared blankly at a fresh white Canva document, just completely stressing out over how to make something look professional without burning 3 hours of your day, well, you're definitely not alone. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into a seriously fascinating, highly lucrative world that is pretty much completely revolutionizing how digital creators generate passive income. We're talking about the absolute boom in selling Canva templates to small businesses. If you've been curious about building a digital product line with virtually zero overhead but massive scalability, you are exactly where you need to be. We're going to break down the insights from Resell Ready to show you how to take your design skills and turn them into a fully functional, resell-ready business.
So here is our blueprint for today. We'll start with the Canva template boom, then look at top-selling template categories. After that, we'll hit the secret to high sales, jump into finding your profitable niche, and finally wrap things up with packaging and selling for profit. We're taking you from the initial market gap straight through to positioning your first product. All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the Canva template boom, and exactly why digital solutions sell.
To really grasp why this market is just exploding right now, you have to look at the number zero. We're talking zero inventory, zero shipping costs, and honestly, the best part, zero extra production effort to scale. Once you design a template, it can be sold to one person or 10,000 people, and it is the exact same amount of work for you. So why is the demand so crazy high? Well, think about your average small business owner. They're wearing a dozen different hats every single day, right? Graphic design is usually pushed to the absolute bottom of the pile. They just lack the time and, let's be real, the skills to build professional assets from scratch. A blank canvas isn't inspiring to them at all. Actually, scratch that. It's not just uninspiring, it's completely overwhelming.
And that brings us to a massive mindset shift from our source material. This quote hits the nail right on the head. They're not shopping for artistic flair, they're shopping for a shortcut. As creators, we so easily fall into this trap of thinking we need to make these beautiful, pretty decorations. But you really don't. You need to build actual business solutions. A busy entrepreneur wants to open your template, slap in their logo, tweak the colors, and hit publish in under 5 minutes. They're buying speed. They're buying consistency and a break from decision fatigue. Once you realize you're selling time instead of art, your whole approach to this business is going to change.
Moving right along to section 2, top-selling template categories. Let's look at what the market actually demands.
Let's rapidly run through what buyers are frantically searching for right now. First up, social media post templates. This is massive because small businesses need a relentless, never-ending stream of content to stay relevant. Then we've got lead magnet PDFs. Think checklists and guides that coaches use to capture emails. Next, pitch decks and presentations. These are lifesavers for freelancers trying to look incredibly polished for investors without spending all night formatting slides. We're also seeing huge demand for brand guidelines and media kits. But here is a really surprising takeaway from the data. Do not just focus on marketing. Look at those last 2 bullets. Invoices, project trackers, planners, checklists. Operational templates are huge. Behind the scenes, business owners desperately need templates to manage workflows, stay sane, and actually get paid.
So how do the top sellers completely dominate these categories? Simple. Bundles win. Selling single one-off designs is fine, but curated sets? That is where the real magic happens. The source highlights brilliant examples like the Gemma bundle for brand assets or Post Perfection for social media. These cohesive all-in-one kits outsell individual graphics by a landslide because they solve weeks, sometimes even months, of planning in literal seconds. By grouping templates into a themed collection, you drastically bump up the perceived value and, of course, your average order value.
Which brings us to section 3, the secret to high sales. Spoiler alert, it's solutions over aesthetics. We've got to debunk this myth that selling templates is just about making things look pretty. Imagine a client onboarding kit. This is a high-value product. Why? Because it directly saves a service provider hours of boring admin work and instantly makes them look super professional to a brand new paying client. It solves a massive, urgent pain point. Now compare that to a generic quote template. That's low value. It's just decorative. It doesn't solve a burning problem that keeps a business owner awake at night, which makes it a much harder sell. The true secret to high conversion rates is anchoring your templates directly to their revenue generation or their operational efficiency.
Now let's tackle section 4, finding your profitable niche through targeted templates.
One of the absolute biggest mistakes new creators make is trying to sell to small businesses as a whole. That's way too broad. It is incredibly difficult to market to everyone. Niching down makes your life so much easier. Let's look at how mapping specific niches to their exact recurring needs creates a gold mine. Take coaches and consultants. Their ideal templates are lead magnets, pitch decks, and onboarding kits. They need a very specific, polished aesthetic. Now flip over to real estate agents. They have this steady, predictable, weekly demand for hyper-practical stuff. Listing flyers, open house brochures, local social promos. And Etsy sellers? They need cohesive shop branding everywhere. They want ready-made social content bundles, thank you cards to slip into their packages, and entire brand kits. When you target a specific niche, your product transforms from a nice-to-have graphic into an absolute must-have tool for their industry.
Finally, Section 5, Packaging and Selling for Profit. Let's talk naming and distribution.
Okay, so you have a niche and a killer template. How do you package it so people instantly see the value? You use this really simple 3-step naming formula. Step 1, call out the audience. Step 2, list the template type. Step 3, declare the outcome. Mash those together and you get a title like Editable Canva Instagram Templates for Coaches, or maybe Canva Client Onboarding Kit for Service Providers. Boom. It immediately signals to buyers that this was made specifically for them, saving it from getting completely lost in a sea of generic search results.
Once those highly targeted templates are perfectly named and ready to go, you need to actually distribute them. The source details 4 primary sales channels. First up, Etsy. This is phenomenal when you're just starting out because the search traffic is already built right in. People are actively typing in exactly what you sell. Next is Creative Market, which is fantastic if your work leans toward those premium, highly polished bundles for buyers with a bit more design savvy. Then, setting up Shopify or your own website. That's the ultimate end goal for a lot of creators because it gives you 100% control over your brand, your pricing, and you ditch the marketplace fees. And finally, the Canva Creator Marketplace, where you actually earn royalties every time Canva users use your templates. The biggest takeaway from the data here? The most successful sellers don't just pick one. They use a smart combination of these channels to build up multiple passive income streams.
So, there we go. We have walked through the entire blueprint. You've seen the magic of low overhead, the top-selling operational categories, the psychology behind why these businesses are happily paying for shortcuts, and exactly how to package those shortcuts for very specific niches. This demand for digital solutions, it is definitely not slowing down. As more businesses launch, the need just keeps growing. So I want to leave you with one final, absolutely critical question to think about. What specific, recurring problem are you going to solve for your audience? Don't just go make something pretty. Pick your niche, figure out what task is eating up all their time, and build the exact Canva template that fixes it. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer today, and I honestly can't wait to see the digital empire you start building.